I'm Sarah. I'm a member of Hulme Library Book Group in Manchester, and I am doing a book review of The Wife Between Us today. So, a bit about me. I've been a member of this book group for about a year now, and I've read like 12 different books that I've really loved. And I'm also a mum, as you can tell from my notes, which are covered in lots of arty squiggles. And I often end up taking my baby to the book groups with me, which has been really great and really welcoming. The book group normally meets once a month. However, at the moment it's all gone online, and we've ended up using the online resources from Manchester libraries, which have been really great and are available on Borrow Books. So because I picked The Wife Between Us by Greer, Hendricks and Sarah Pekannen, I was asked to do a review for it. What I'm planning to do is tell you a little bit about the book, do a bit of a reading from it, and then get back into the review of the book. So the book came out in 2018 and has actually been, the film rights have been bought by Steven Spielberg, so that's an interesting project that could come out from it. And I'm going to continue now with a bit of a prologue reading. She walks briskly down the city sidewalk, her blonde hair bouncing against her shoulders, her cheeks flushed, a gym bag looped over her forearm. When she reaches her apartment building, her hand dips into her purse and pulls out her keys. The street is loud and busy with yellow cabs racing by, the commuters returning from work, and shoppers entering the deli on the corner. But my eyes never stray from her. She is oblivious to what I have done to her. She is unaware of the damage I have wrought, the ruin I have set in motion, to this beautiful young woman with the heart-shaped face and lush body, the woman my husband Richard left me for. I'm as invisible as the pigeon scavenging on the sidewalk next to me. She has no idea what will happen to her if she continues like this. None at all. So I'm going to come out and say straight away that I think the prologue is one of the best bits of the book. I didn't really enjoy the book. The prologue's definitely got lots of tense action in it, and something I feel the book did really well is have a really good detailed plot with lots of twists and turns. And at the end of the audiobook there's an interview with the two authors, and you can hear them talking about how they worked on the plot together and how they came up with it. And it is very detailed. There are lots of twists that you don't necessarily see coming. However, you are expecting twists right from the start. The tagline on the bottom of the book is, "She's not who you think she is." So before you've even opened the book, you've got an idea that there's smoke and mirrors going on, and that not everything is as it seems. The plot of the book focuses on the main character, Vanessa, and her obsession with her ex-husband's new fiance. And you can see that that as she goes through, you learn more about her life. So you see how she's completely fallen from grace, so it seems. She was in a big house with a rich husband and could have anything that she wanted. And now she's an alcoholic living with her aunt, and she can barely hold down a job. Her life has gone a complete 180. And you're sort of seeing how she's gone through that process, and you see it from a few different time points, each with a little new insight at the same time. So you learn a bit more about her as you see her go through this journey multiple times. And you learn more about her relationship with her husband Richard, and why she's so obsessed with his new fiance. And you also learn more about her past and what shaped her into being the person she is now, with issues such as alcoholism. So it sounds really gripping, but one of my main problems with the book was that I had real trouble connecting with the main character, Vanessa. and because I found it difficult to connect with her, I found going through some of the earlier bits of the book a bit slow. You're going through lots of details and you don't necessarily know which are important or why they're important, and some of them become more important later on, but you don't know that at the time, and I didn't like the character, so I'm hearing lots about her life that doesn't seem pertinent to the plot at the time, and it feels a bit tedious and a bit slow. And I think it's not helped because of factors like her alcoholism, and there's lots of stuff about whether how she's recollected things. It's a bit discombobulating and a bit disorientating, and it's hard to latch on to things a little bit, and I think that adds to the tension as a thriller book, but it does make it even harder to connect to Vanessa because it's a bit confusing and a bit makes you feel a bit strange, really. And then similarly to that, we found that there's not much growth of the characters. You're not going on a journey with Vanessa and seeing her overcome issues. Instead, you're going through a story she's telling you, and then she's revealing more and more of that story in layers as she goes along. So you're not seeing her growth, you're seeing that you completely misunderstood her from the start. And that's interesting as a concept, but for me it didn't necessarily work for me connecting with her as a character, like making me feel like I misunderstood the setup didn't make me like her more, and I didn't even appreciate her as an anti-hero or anything like that for the first bits of the book, at least, anyway. And also I found the book to be really American, particularly I was listening to an audiobook for the first time, and the person reading the audiobook was an American woman, and it just came across as very American. And Vanessa starts off living this life of luxury, living amongst the elite and fairly separated from everyone else. And so there were so many differences that I found it really hard to empathise with her at the start, and so that was a real problem for me with this book, and that led to it feeling long and tedious. And ultimately I found myself just reading it to get to the next twist, and you're expecting the twists to come. So overall it was interesting mechanically, but I think it lacked a little bit of heart. And so if I was going to give this book a rating, I'm afraid I'd only give it 2 stars out of 5. However, if it does get made into a film, I think I'd be very interested to go and see the film. I think Steven Spielberg's really good, and you could definitely edit the story to get a lot more connection with the characters and to keep it going with that. So that's my book review, and then I was just going to end up by saying I've really enjoyed being a part of Hulme Library Book Group, and I'd encourage you to join a book group as well, wherever you are. All right, bye.